Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is the Schumer shutdown. Okay. I am filming this. It's right now, it's quarter after 11. Okay. And we have about 45 more minutes until we find out, or we might not find out right away if the government's going to shut down or not. For decades, Democrats have used the government shutdowns to extort more wasteful government spending for their allies. And did you know that only 7 Democrats are needed to avert a government shutdown? Okay, which is set for October 1st. Okay. And the Republican House, they passed a CR, which will give both sides time to negotiate. Okay. If the Senate Democrats don't get on board, the Schumer shutdown of the government begins at midnight, October 1st. So the Democrats told the American people that Obamacare was a wonderful health plan and it would save them thousands of dollars every single year. And if so, why does it need to be subsidized with taxpayer dollars? Why not just let it stand on its own 2 feet? Well, any funding for migrants and the benefits is definitely off the table and it's swept out the door. Okay. Over 77 million voters want to rid America of waste, fraud, and abuse. All Congress approved spending authorization will end. Okay. And our president can order non-essential parts of government to close. That's if the government shuts down. Okay. He can also order the Treasury to pay Social Security and other essential parts of the government. No court can interfere. The federal courts cannot force Congress to vote to approve funding. So in the meantime, our president can just operate the minimum needed parts of the government. And, we call these shutdowns the Schumer shutdowns, right? Did you know that in 1996, Chuck Schumer, he railed against migrants getting taxpayer-funded anything, benefits, anything. Because why? It incentivized more illegal immigration. He said, people say, why can't you stop illegal immigrants from coming here? And he said that the number one answer is we give our constituents is when they come here, they get jobs, they get benefits against the law because of fraud. Now, Chuck is threatening to shut down the government over illegals getting taxpayer-funded health care. So he is backpedaling. Okay, he's a hypocrite.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment if you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired.
And now, J.D. Vance, he's upset, of course, because Chuck Schumer is demanding a $1.5 trillion spending package that would fund free health care for migrants.
We just had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there. Now, we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American health care policy is broken. Well, we know that American health care policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American health care is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American health care policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
So, what are your thoughts? Do you think that we should, allow for a government shutdown, even though there are a lot of things that, like, do you take into consideration that our military members won't get paid? How about our military members that are deployed and their spouses are here, taking care of children, paying mortgages, paying bills? They won't be able to pay their mortgages or pay their bills or take care of their children. Are you okay with that? It's just a question. I'm just being logical. I'm being rational. And I'm just asking a question. Okay. Say you are here, okay, in the States, raising little children, and your husband or your wife is deployed overseas. And the only income that you have is the pay that they get from the military. And now you get nothing coming in at all. You can't pay your mortgage or your rent, your utilities, no food, no nothing. I want you to sit and stew on that for just a moment. Do you still want the government to shut down? I realize that, what they're asking for, 1.5 trillion for benefits for people who shouldn't even be here in the first place. No, I do not believe that they should get that. But then we're going to be having military families be homeless, possibly. So let that sink in. Okay, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.